Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're doing another paid rune removal for Examine this time. If you're not familiar with how this works, basically if you're interested in having me rune your account and doing a video kind of explaining what's going on, contact me on Discord. It's $75 for between 10 to 15 monsters and we'll test it out. Disclaimer, I can only do the best I personally can. So, if it doesn't get you G3, I'm sorry, I tried my best. And I'm working with what you've got to work with. So if you're missing runes or whatever, there's nothing I can do to give you full quad rolls. You know what I mean? So that's the little spiel. So let's go ahead and dig into it. So this is the account. This is Examine. You can see last season he played quite a bit and achieved the highest rank, Fighter 3, 48% win rate. So a little under 50% with that many games played. I feel very confident saying this is representative of where he's supposed to be. The sample size is high enough. Now we're going to try to bump that win rate up, a couple percentage points. Once you get over 50%, playing a high volume of games ends up really helping you. You can, in theory, steadily climb, especially with maybe the way they're going to do the new rating system. We'll kind of see how that operates. So that's the plan. We're trying to get this over 50% win with the goal being, C1 at some point down the road. So let's get to it. First thing we're going to do is check the glory towers. That is always the first thing we do. If you don't have max glory towers, you are not on an equal playing field as everyone else. And I know I say that every video, but it's still true. And if you're on an unequal playing field, if you pick equal to them and you're runed equal to them and they have max towers and you don't, you're probably going to lose. So you're going to lose more than you technically deserve to lose. And it makes it really hard to get anything done. I would recommend buying that Devilmon. Just a heads up, that is not bought yet. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right, so this is our guard tower. It's at level 5, so we're missing 10% defense right off the bat, which is significant. I would assume that matches with 10% HP. Yeah, so we're missing 12% HP. So we're missing 22% survivability stats right away. We're missing, over 10% attack, plus the elemental tower, so we're missing over 20% attack and over 20% survivability. So that's a tough spot to be. The fact that he's winning at close to 50% is a good sign, considering he's going in 20 to 40% below everyone else stat-wise. So that's our first major hurdle to overcome, but that is overcome just by grinding Arena and maybe even refilling if you have the crystals to use to refill to catch up to everybody that has those done. Another little benefit of that, let's see if it's done here. If you get your defense tower up, you can build a Tricuru a lot easier. And if you get your fire tower up, you have a little bit of a lower requirement for your Bale for BJR5, which are both things that you probably want to have. Tricuru is not necessarily required, but I mean, it's pretty good. So something to keep in mind. All right, let's get to runing away. This account is very similar to my alt in a lot of ways, which is pretty neat. So I get to use some of the same principles that I used when ruining my alt. He has a Yanhong, which I would say is by far the best monster in his account. I mean, it's going to be the best monster on most accounts. So we ruined up the Yanhong first. And the way we ruined things are in the order of what we anticipate picking them, right? We want to put our best runes on our most picked monsters, and we want our best monsters to play the most number of matches, right? So Yanhong is our best monster. We're going to rune up Yanhong first. Nice little rune there. One thing that I think is going to be pretty clear about this account is it has potential to be a turn 1 team, but I did not make it turn 1. And the reason for that is the runes fall off fast enough that there's not enough speed runes to consistently win as a turn 1 team. And if you're not going to win consistently going first, you're going to lose a ton because you're going to lose to all the go second teams. You're going to lose to some of the go first teams. And it's just maybe not all the go second teams, but you're going to lose more than you should. So I think it's safer to pick a turn 2 team. Maybe take turn 1 every once in a while, but not rely on getting turn 1 when you're not fast enough to actually get it. So that was the philosophy in ruining this account up. So that's why you'll be like, well, wait a minute, he has Chiwu and Blue Ryu, right? Those are great speed leads for turn 1. They strip, they push back. He's got some good monsters to follow up. Ganymede, Yanhong, stuff like that. But no, we're not doing that because I don't think it makes any sense. All right, this is already on Yanhong and a nice beefy rune. The main difference, we are putting Yanhong on crit damage, which I think is really the only viable build. And it makes Yanhong what she is. She is an incredible monster on violent crit damage because she's doing everything she does, speed, cycling, and then you add damage, speed, scaling, damage with her strip, and it's fantastic. So that's what we're doing. So we've got, this is the build, 240 speed, 54 crit, 138 crit damage. We lost, obviously, quite a bit of effective HP, but we're still at 175k, which I think is plenty. Like, if they're going to burst through 175, they're going to burst through 200, you know, because the defense break plus whatever their follow-up is going to be enough. So this is the build we're going to go with. I'm just going to take a peek at the artifacts. Yeah, I don't think I could recommend either of these, because speed under inability, it's not bad, but I think for Yanhong, you know, you want crit damage skill 2, or possibly a heal on skill 3. So let me just take a peek real quick and see what our options are there. Yeah, stuff that's not rolled yet, this could be nice if it rolls out, because it's additional damage by speed. I'm not really a fan of the attack innate, so maybe this would be even better. I'm not going to do all the artifacts now, but I will talk slightly about some of the artifact builds. This one here, damage free from fire, 4%. Speed increasing effect, no, because she doesn't really do that. So you would want something like crit damage received, or possibly damage dealt on X if you have some good rolls on something like that. So like, even accuracy skill 2 wouldn't be terrible. I mean, that's the, whatever they call it, the plus looking one. That's not terrible for her either, because you're using her as a stripper. So just some Yanhong notes. We've got her on Will because, you know, we're going to be going second quite a bit and you don't want them to nuke her down right away. So that is the build there. All right, we're moving over to Vigor. And this was a bit of a bummer. This is the second unit I built on Violent, and we're already unable to build a Vigor on crit damage, which is, I think, the preferred build. It's very similar to Yanhong in that if you can get a crit damage Vigor and have it be able to hold itself up, it's fantastic. So that would be a kind of a long-term project for this account, is to probably farm dragons, I would say. There's quite a few Violent runes, but then we run out of the ability to build beefy crit damage units like right away. So it's a bit of an issue. So something to keep in mind. So we're taking a lot of the Yanhong runes here. And we're going Vigor as our second rune unit, which may be surprising to people, but Vigor is Vigor's really, really good. Like, just as a note, for a turn 2 team especially, like, you can get the anti-crit, you can get the heals, the defense break is fantastic. And yeah, he's a high win rate. I mean, he does a lot. And so my estimation of Vigor has just been going up and up and up the more I play him. Like, not that I'll win every match I play him in, but I'm generally happy he's there, and sometimes I lose because of misplays or, you know, just getting beat, but it's not his fault, I don't feel. I feel like he's a solid all-around unit. So this is the build. Now, there's nothing wrong with a beefy Vigor. This is definitely a beefy Vigor, 223 effective HP. Crits, a little low, obviously 31. The accuracy is 29, so not bad for the accuracy, but there's nothing wrong with this type of Vigor. It's just the other build is better, right? All right, moving on to Veligil. For this Veligil, we are going the tanky route, and we're forcing the damage route, which it has a little bit lower effective HP than I would prefer this build, but I cannot justify building a Veligil not on the damage build. So that's what we're doing. So it's going to be you got to be a little bit careful drafting it because it's got a few issues, mainly in effective HP. But other than that, is that a legend? Hero. Okay. Not bad. Not a horrible rune. I mean, you would like to replace it pretty quickly, but, you know, you got what you got, right? All right, so we've got a speed sub looking at slot 3. It says it's on Masha. So one thing that's neat about this account is it has basically all the units you'll need. I mean, everybody's missing a unit or two here or there, but you can't really, you know, whatever you're missing, you can't use that as justification of why you're not viable or competitive. Everybody's missing something. So this account is missing, you know, a couple things, but in general, it has everything it'll ever need. Where is this thing? It's on Josephine, it says? Yeah. So the Yanhong especially, and then it's got lots of meta units. I mean, it's got the double speed leads. It's got 2 beast riders. It's got a lot. And this account, I think, here's the build currently. We would obviously level up the speed slot too, but we're not going to do that today. But yeah, that's what it would need to do. Obviously, rune that up, grind it up, that sort of thing. But this account can go a lot of different ways. And a lot of people have similar issues with their account, is that they could go a lot of different ways. So which way do you choose, you know? You just have to commit to something, because if you rune up a little bit of everything, you're going to have a bad time, right? You're going to be bringing a little bit of everything. You're not going to be focused. and your strategies are going to be sort of fractured all over the place. Like if you don't bring full turn 1, you're not really being viable in your match, right? If you don't bring a cohesive unit, because other people will. You'll beat other people that are doing kind of the Mod Podge, but you're not gonna beat people that are doing what they need to do and focusing. Okay, so this is our first venture into Swift. We've done 3 Violent. This is our first Swift. Okeanos, just a great unit in the meta right now. He is better on Violent, but he's got to be fast on Violent. And, you know, we're basically out of fast Violent runes after ruining 3 monsters. The Veligul is at 221. The Vigor and the Yonhung are both in the 230 range. With the Yonhung going before the Vigor so she can strip, he can defense break, and then in theory, Veligul can follow up with the kill. That's the plan. So the Okeanos had to be built Swift just to give him a viable kind of a build. There's also some interesting things where like some of the runes we're going to use are just not maxed, which is going to make the testing kind of funky. But I don't want to rune or level things to 15 on stream. That's something that this person can do when they're all done. I'm getting ready to go to battle here. So it's at 272 currently. When it's maxed out, it'll be 287, which is pretty good. I would say that would put you over most Fighter 3s. It'll put you right into the 50-50 range for Conk players. Like some Conk players will have a faster, say Okeanos, some will have a slower. Not everybody's going to have faster, but it's not going to be, you know, guaranteed go first, you know. All right, so in terms of these, you want accuracy on skill 2, so you can do your skill 2. Yeah, that's not viable. This one's not terrible because it has additional damage. But yeah, I would say artifact farming is probably a priority for this account as well, because we have some artifacts, but we don't have the selection that we need to make all these units viable in RTA. Additionally, you could do accuracy on skill 3. You can see his accuracy isn't super high at 49, but you know, one good 20% artifact and suddenly our skill 2 is at 69, which is plenty, right? I mean, it's not perfect, but it's plenty. It's viable. All right, so we're kind of trying to see what we've got in terms of our Swift runes. And so we're going to move into Swift again. We're going to bring a Wusa in as an immunity option. Our first immunity option is Veligul, but Veligul is kind of a terrible option against an Okeanos. And you're going to face a lot of Okeanoses, so you need something that counters the Okeanos. And that's, I think, Wusa is a good immunity option. So we're going to rune up a Wusa. I don't anticipate using him a lot, but when you need him, if you don't have him, it's sad times, right? That is a beautiful rune that is dying for action there. I would bet that's a Dimensional Predator rune. That looks like one of the Dimensional Predator runes. So I would definitely prioritize getting some grinds on that thing, because that is probably one of the best runes on this account. All right, shield. 22 speed, that is it. And then we're all Swift the rest of the way with speed. Okay, this one's on Chiwu. You know, it's sad de-runing a Chiwu, but if the Chiwu is not doing what it needs to do in enabling a turn 1 team, then it's a useless Chiwu. We don't want it. So that's what we're doing. We're taking away the Chiwu, we're taking away the Triton, we're basically shifting completely out of turn 1 into turn 2, which I think we have a better chance to win at. This is on the Chiwu as well. Now, in the future, if the towers get grinded out, if the runes improve a little bit overall in speed, then you could this account could easily pivot into a turn 1 team. It's got everything you need. So this is going to be a 302 Wusa, which is pretty decent. It's got everything you need for turn 1. It's just I don't feel turn 1 is the way to win currently with this account, so we're not going to. We're going to go with the build we think has the best chance to win, even though it's sad because we're de-runing things that are really, really good in general. All right, so here's another crit rate slot 6 hero. Has the stats you want, HP and speed. You know, we'd obviously want to max them out. I don't know that I feel comfortable with that, but I would feel more than comfortable throwing that on there. And then down here, you know, I'm going to go ahead and grind these up because that's fine. He's got 8. Yeah. All right, and it rolled 4. Do we feel comfortable with this? Yeah, I think so. You're not going to use a lot of blade runes in RTA, and if your focus is RTA, you know, you might as well rune for what you want to focus on. I'm not going to roll that out, though, sadly, so her crit rate's going to be a little bit sad to start. But we've got her on Blade Despair. I think the better build is Revenge, but, you know, Revenge is kind of hard to get if you don't have exactly the right thing. This is a nice rune. Needs HP, but it's got the accuracy. Attack's not bad. So it's got kind of what you want there. All right, let's go with speed. Stealing from Ethna. And then over here, we're stealing from Juno. Hey, she stole from herself. Done. And then another one on Juno. So let's go ahead and apply. So the main problem this Juno had is it was not on crit rate. It was on tank, which Juno on crit rate is deadly. She cycles. She wrecks with additional damage. She just destroys your whole life. So gotta be on crit rate. You need as much crit as you can get. Additional proportion to speed is ideal. If you don't have that, additional damage proportional to anything else. This could be a beautiful, beautiful rune or artifact. We're going to throw that on there. We're going to throw that on there too. Either one of these could be good. I'm going to roll them a couple times just because they could be good. They could be perfect. We'll see. I mean, obviously quad roll, additional damage to speed would be choice number one. Hey! Crit damage received would also be fine. The other two are bad. We would hope to avoid those at all costs. But it's legendary. You get 2 rolls into speed, and you're probably better off than 90% of the artifacts you're going to farm. And we already hit on 1, so this is probably already one of the best of what it does. Oh, we hit on it twice. All right, let's go one more time. Kind of middle of the rolls, because it could roll 40. It rolled 66, so... No, a little better than average, but, you know, just rolling into that is fantastic. We will take that every time. And since it's fire, like, this will probably be on Juno for quite a while. Like, once you go over 100 additional damage, like, it's pretty hard to replace. If you get into the 120s to 140s, you've got a real keeper there. So, what do we roll here? Crit damage received, perfect. All right, we'll go ahead and keep it at that. Let's see, what do we got here? Nah, we don't want any of that. Let's roll. Attack is not ideal, but let's roll it a little bit. See if we can hit. And if you can't have additional damage based on speed, you know, based on defense is not horrible, because defense doesn't decline. That's not a terrible roll, because we are going to use skill 2 occasionally, but probably skill 1 more than skill 2 ever. Skill 2 you kind of want to avoid because it doesn't cycle. You only use it when you need the strip. Or you're looking for a lucky Despair Stun, like you're in that spot. All right, there we go. Additional damage based on speed. So you'd obviously roll this again, but we're going to go ahead and engrave that and apply. So we're already up to 150 additional damage. In theory, we could roll it one more time, but we'll just let it sit there. So that is our Juno. 210, 214, yep. And so this will just roll out and we'll get more crit rate there. And maybe even, you know, it'll roll into defense or something also. All right, next up is Ethna. So that was our first Despair set. She is obviously not on well because she's Juno and she doesn't need that. It'll occasionally bite you because they'll be able to nuke her down before she gets a turn. But in general, I think the risk is worth the reward there. So that's what we're doing. All right, this Juno we are building on Nemesis Swift. Trying to get her pretty speedy. You would think that it would look speedier than it does, but it's actually not going to be that fast. The Swift is more just to give it the speed stats that it needs. But it's not going to make it like an Alpha Strike Ethna. It's going to go about in tune with the rest of our team. But yeah, it's not like going to steal turn 1 or anything like that. It's more about just getting the stats it needs. So again, we're on crit right here. That is the one. So not a great rune. Yeah, it's normal. So tons of room to improve there. That rune, I would say, get rid of it as soon as you find a suitable replacement. You know, you just need a crit rune that is not white. So that's what I would highly recommend. All right, let's go defense. This looks like the one. Yep. And then up here, Bernard says speed is the sub. There it is. Okay. And then we're missing the slot 2. We'll go with HP flat. And it is on Okeanos, but we already re-runed him, so I think it's this one. Yeah, is that legendary? No, it's rare. I get so confused sometimes. When I see a big flat stat, I'm like, oh, it's got to be legendary, because it seems like they all roll towards that. So we're at 81 crit currently. When we roll out the crit rune, it'll be 93. I don't even think it'd be worth rolling out this crit rune. It is quite bad. So yeah, it'll be higher, but yeah, you want her on crit so that she can cycle. And we built her a little beefier than she was before, quite a bit faster, way more crit rate. Yeah, we just need to replace that slot 4. So one thing to note, and I think this is to the point of, you know, what you need to grind, what you need to farm. This is for the 6th monster we've ruined. 7th monster we've ruined, the 3rd Swift monster, and the efficiency of this unit is 81%, which is fairly low, and it's going to be hard to break into conk with units of that level of efficiency because, you know, the Juno we just ruined is 88. The Wusa we ruined was 90. So our Swift sets, let's see, we went Wusa to Ethna. I think this might be our second. Oh, no, wait, we had Okeanos. So Okeanos was 86. Wusa was 90%, and then Ethna's down to 81. So our third Swift set that we're using, whether it's the best Swift set or not, it's the one we're using, it's 20% off perfect. And, you know, into Conk, you'll see people at 100% efficiency, 90% efficiency. So if you're already down towers, 20% say on towers, and then you're giving up another 10% on unit efficiency, it's going to take some amazing RNG and pick ban to bring it home, bring home the win, right? You're already 30% worse. They can make 30% more incorrect choices and be equal to you, right? Which is not what you want. You want to be the one to be able to make incorrect choices and luck it out because you're more efficient than them. Okay, this Verd we're going to ruin. Part of me just wants to keep this Verd as is. You know what? I think I will. I ruined up a triple Revenge Verd, but the Revenge runes are not useful at all. There's 2 that are at +0, 3 that are at +0. There's a couple of good ones, but it's just not ready, right? So we'll go ahead and leave the Verd like this. We'll change them up if we need to, but this is more usable. What I would suggest is as you farm dragons, rune up a Verd as you go. Every time you get a new Revenge rune that looks good, put it on your Verd. Even a placeholder unit, right? Because you can do that in RTA. Put it on a placeholder unit, hold it there. You're going to use it later. But a triple Revenge Verd is a huge, huge tool of a turn 2 player, and you need one. So we're going to keep him on this right now. He's got 1 Revenge set, and that'll be okay for now. I believe, yeah, this is the 2 runes on the Verd that we would keep. The other runes are all not great. And Examine, I'm going to send you the JSON so you'll see how I ruined up the triple Revenge Verd, but we're going to leave him like he is for now, and if we need to tweak him, we will. I think that's the smarter long-term option for you right now. All right, we're ruining a Leo next. He is going to be on Vamp Nem. Leo is another great tool for, you know, someone that's going turn 2, so that's nice to have that in your pocket. Not everybody has one, and, you know, they're really quite good, so it's nice to have one. It does a lot. All right, so we're looking for this slot 1 could be better, but I think it's worth taking it for the Nemesis set on Leo. It's just a good thing to have for your Leo. So you can see that's the rune there. Going to Vamp. Let's go with Defense Sub. It says it's on Skogul. We will take that. And then down here, we've got a Crit Rate Sub. That looks like it. Is this a Predator rune? No. There's not enough stats. Oh my gosh. That is an interesting way for that to roll. How did that roll? Once into accuracy. I guess 3 times into crit, just kind of low. You know, I don't know that you can even re-roll that, because I think it's good enough for the Leo. So I don't know that you would re-up that when you have probably better targets. Taken from Abilio, and then we're taking from Miho crit rate. That's a nice one. Just make that attack into HP or something, or maybe the resist. Honestly, resist is terrible. All right, so 72, 128. Obviously, that'll get higher once the crit damage rune is rolled out, but we're not going to do that now. So that's our Leo. All right, moving on to Josephine. Where are you, Josephine? So right now what we're doing is we're basically ruining up options, right? We're ruining up things that we can use in a pinch that'll help us kind of bring home the win, right? Maybe not things we want to pick all the time, but there are options. You can see some of the units I'm deselecting are very turn 1-y type units, and we're moving away from that as a gameplay philosophy. All right, Josephine. Josephine's another turn 2 unit that can really get it done. I mean, she's not perfect, but she can bring home a win in a situation that otherwise has no great options. So nice to have one built if you can. HP, that is the one. And then we've got a Revenge rune in slot 4. It says HP, so that means our sub is speed. Taking off a Jean, yep. And then the rest is Violent, because Violent Josephine is the best Josephine. All right, defense percentage. This is the rune. This is a nice legendary rune, right? Yeah, got it right. Yeah, I would put some effort into making this thing nice. Probably reroll. Well, no, you've got all your grindables. So you could turn crit damage into accuracy or into crit rate. Keeping his crit damage, not a bad idea either. That's a nice rune. All right, we're looking for our defense as it was on Veligil, which means it's not anymore. We'll take that. Down here, we've got speed on Ganymede. Take that. And then up here, we've got speed also on Ganymede. Thank you, sir. So here's the build. Lots of effective HP. Speed, a little on the low side, but still over 200, so we're boosting her up by about 36 speed from her previous build. The accuracy is low. You can pick that up on the artifacts. Skill 2 accuracy. Not a bad thing to have. I mean, skill 3 does nothing, but she has nothing currently, so hey, we'll take what we can get. And I'm not going to put another one on there. That's something you can do. All right, another tool you kind of need at least to have available is a Tessarion. There are so many passives out there, and all they want is you to not pick Tessarion so that they can go crazy with their passives that don't even require a selection of an ability. Think about Molly. Do people care if Molly is crowd controlled? No. She does exactly what she needs to do regardless of the state she's in. It's pretty good. So having anything that can deal with a Molly or something like that is fantastic. Now, the one problem I see with Molly is that I feel like she kind of counters Tessarion with how many times she procs. It actually has a cleanse, a shield, and if something counters its own counter, that's what makes it OP, and I feel like that's what Molly does. So you got to bring one of the few tools you have available, but, you know, she's probably going to hold her own even against the tool you brought specifically to counter her. But that's about all you can do, you know? I mean, there's a couple other solutions, but this is the one we are choosing for your account. Getting a lot of accuracy on there. Got attack down here. Says it's in inventory. Attack 24. Yep. And then we've got attack here as well. So we're looking for a speed sub on Masha. Thank you. And there's our Tessa build. 42 crit, 142 crit damage. Speed over 200, which is kind of what we're shooting for. You know, room to improve, but that's what we're going to do. We're looking for defense breaks now. We need defense breaks to be competitive. So we're trying to find defense breaks. We're kind of giving up on will offsets because we ran out of will runes. So we're just trying to put together what we can, something that'll help us out. Now, not having the will offsets is going to cost us some matches, 100%, no doubt. Like, that's a known thing. But what are you going to do? Not use a unit that you need? I mean, you got to build it, right? If you're going to go in there and play, so you might as well just take those losses, whatever percentage you're going to lose, and you know, grind away to get what you need to make yourself competitive. All right, we got crit rate down here, taken from Diana, and then we've got attack percentage. It says it's in inventory, 14, 20. Yep, and then up here we've got attack percentage on Helena. Thank you. So yeah, you'll see this account has so many things ready to go that it's too much. The runes, there's not a ton of rune depth, and the depth that is there is spread way too thin. So every monster you pick is a worse version of what a more focused version of itself could be, if that makes sense. So here's the Barbara, 200 speed. You'd love for her to be faster, but she's got a little bit of tankiness to her. And she'll still do Barbara things, so that's what we're going for. All right, the final monster we're going to build for an option for us is Triana. Because, you know, if you're going second, you're probably going to be manhandled somewhat. So where's this Triana? So you want the ability to mitigate that as best you can, or make life difficult for people that are trying to do horrible things to you to start the game. There it is. And Triana is one of those units that can kind of make that happen. So we've got her on defense, HP, violent, broken, HP percentage. That is the one. Down here, HP flat will find us this rune. It is on Fran. Thank you. And then down here we've got, I guess we could go speed. We'll have to search a little bit. It says it's on Varad. There it is. And then over here we've got HP flat on Verd. That's our first steal from Verd. Sorry, Verd. We are stealing from you. And then we've got two broken sets over here. We've got a defense flat on Destroy. Where are you? There you are. Yep. And then we've got a Swift rune down here with speed. 22. Yep. All right, cool. I believe that's the build. Let's double check. 2376. All right. So we're going to put something on this Verd just so he's ready to go. We can play him. Let's see what he got here. HP. We can steal from Jameyer. That's not horrible. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, we'll take that. That's fine. Yeah. All right, so there's our Verd. Okay, so let's clear out any units we're not planning to use. We are not planning to use Chiwu. We're not planning to use Masha, which is sad. I really wanted to use the Masha. We're not going to use Diana. Diana could be something that could be built as sort of another kind of a fringy counter pick. We're ditching Ganymede. I mean, these are like a who's who of RTA units, you know, but you gotta make hard choices, right? And this account has to make those choices to have a shot. And so that's what we're doing. So let's see, we've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 13. So I have one extra unit. I think it's Miho. She can stay. You know what? We'll go and throw another rune on her just in case. Never a bad idea to have a Miho at the ready. They're evil, but they're useful. Yeah, I feel confident taking that. All right, cool. All right, so what challenges are we going to have going into RTA? We're going into Special League, so already you're going to have some issues because the variation in runes in each bracket is compressed or has more variety. So we might face Guardians. We're C1, which is kind of high for this point. So we might face some Guardians. We might face some fighters. We might face people that have no chance. We might face people where we have no chance. So we're just going to see. Other challenges are towers, which we've talked about, and some of our runes are not maxed or grinded. So some of the units aren't quite where they need to be. So let's see how we do. And again, Yanhong Vigor. That's our bread and butter. If we need to go Swift, we'll go Swift. But we can't go Swift very easily, so we got to kind of watch out. So we'll go Yanhong Vigor into that. See how turn 1-y he wants to be. So we're going to go Josephine. And we got to pick one source of immunity here. I like Wusa better than Veligul into the Okeanos, so we'll go and do that. We might end up having to take the Veligul as well. He's trying to decide if we're going to pick 2 immunities or not. That's a great pick by him. And if he had a Wind Monkey, that would be another great pick. Let's see what he's got. He needs another wind pick because we're so heavy. Yeah, that's a great pick. Okay, so looking at his team, he's got 2 sources of defense break. He's got the bombs. We want to get a fire threat in there. That's not bad. I don't think the Juno's bad either. I think we could get away with the Juno here. I like that a little bit more because that gives us another source of sustain and good damage. Veligul, not too bad. But now we just got to decide what we want to ban. It's a tough choice. I think we might ban the Panda. The Panda or the Ethna. They're both a problem. We don't really care about the Fran too much. We've got lots of strips. It's just what is our biggest threat? I think we're going to go ahead and ban the Ethna. Try to slow down those turn cycling just a little bit. I don't know that we can handle that. Him going at that breakneck speed. I think we might take crit rate here. Yeah, puts that at 100. Puts that up there. I think we will take crit rate. The other option would be probably resist. We got a great resist lead in Yanhong. So we'll see. We'll see if we go first or not. He's got the ability to cool down our Josephine, which is sad. But this is about right. This feels about right. We're at a little bit of an elemental disadvantage. But I think the Juno's a nice solid option. Maybe he goes full... Oh no, he goes cooldown. Okay. The only thing that cooldown does is prevent us getting bombed, right? Because we got rid of the Ethna, and we're still gonna. The Josephine's gonna be good because he did not cool down the Josephine, so he will stun us up. We'll still get the Josephine, in theory, if it survives the bomb. But we built it really tanky, so we should be in pretty good shape. All right, so I think we will go ahead and boost up the Wusa, even though he's not doing a ton. And then I think we want to focus. I kind of want to say the Fran, but the Oki's also another good choice. So let's go ahead and work on the Oki, give ourselves a little bar. And then we're going to see if we can't get a lucky sleep. Nope. But we got some pretty good damage. Let's go ahead and... Do we predict the future here? It's either now or after the Panda does his things. I think we're going to wait for the Panda. We're going to kind of... Ooh, this is a great taunt here. The Wusa moves in... I'm sorry, the Okeanos moves in front. So we taunt, we prevent the stun, see if the Panda wants to heal, which I think he kind of has to. And then the Juno gets to do cool stuff. Detonates, okay. Ooh, yeah, good damage. Let me check the health on that thing. Josephine. So the Josephine is one of our tankiest units. It is at 263 effective HP when it's maxed. So what does that tell us? That tells us that he outrunes us a ton. The other thing that tells us that is he's got a Guardian skin on his Okeanos, right? I believe that's a Guardian skin. Maybe I'm wrong, though, because he doesn't have one on his Panda. He's got Conch wings on his Fran. That might be one you can buy. But anyway, this is what it feels like to be outruined. Whether it's through towers, whether it's through runes. If he can just destroy our tankiest unit like it's nothing with the Ciara, that's a huge problem. So this is definitely a loss. We'll go ahead and let it finish out. Let's see how hard these bombs hit. I mean, those aren't even hard-hitting bombs. So there's a lot going on there. Or at least it wasn't hard-hitting there. Yeah, why are we still here? Let's move on to the next one. So that person was, I would say, out of our league. Gods. Gods. The Wusa is at 191k effective HP. So that's another one of our tanky monsters. He did not even nuke into our weaker monsters like the Yanhong. But the Yanhong's not terrible in terms of effective HP. All right, so we feel very comfortable with our first 2 picks there. Okay, so he's going full immunity. Probably stuff like Bulwark, stuff like that. Okay, so we need a little bit of immunity as well. We'll definitely take the Velajewel. And then I think the Okeanos is not great. I think the Juno is better here because he's going to be buffing a ton. In terms of strips now, we're looking at the Yanhong and the Juno as reliable strips, the Velajewel as an unreliable skill 1 strip. So we're in a not a horrible place for strips. Depending on where he goes, we might bring in like the Ethna as another strip, something like that. Okay, so maybe a Harmonia here. Or Bulwark would be Harmonia, yeah. So this is an easy ban for us. We're definitely banning Harmonia. That's his only source of like make the Molong go twice. He's got a little bit of sustain in the Fenyang, but not enough to be catastrophic for us. So decisions. I don't like the Okeanos a ton into this, but if we can get lucky and reset the Amelia is useless. I mean, it does none of its good stuff. Another good option would be the Barbara here as another strip. So I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with the Barbara, ban that, and give ourselves a little more of a punch. Now we've got 2 defense breaks in the Barbara and the Vigor. We've got 3 to 4 strips, and we've got some sustain, which he does not have, so happy days. HP or crit rate. I think we take crit rate again. We're lacking a little bit of crit rate across the board, so I don't think that's a horrible thing to take. We're trying to shore up our weaknesses, and crit is one of our weaknesses. Let's see what we get. Okay. So it's a turn 1 Amelia. Doesn't have to be super fast to be turn 1 because our fast is like 230. That is a great thing for us to see because we'll just yoink. Didn't get it all, but we got some. All right, got the stun on the 1 monster that really kind of can't be stunned. So the choice here is to defense break or take the anti-crit. We'll take the anti-crit. And do we need the immunity here? I don't think so. I think we'll wait. We'll wait till we need as a cleanse. And we're just going to work on this this guy here. I think this feels a little bit better because we take the heal. Though the defense break's pretty good too. Maybe we'll do that first. Yeah. Our whole goal, we get both. Yay. Our whole goal is to bring this Molong down to where it's not a threat. And we haven't quite done that yet, but we're pretty close. We're feeling pretty good. And if our Juno can cycle into another strip, that would be amazing. So we're going to go on to the Rakan. Even though it's a little risky, I think it's okay. And now we're just about putting damage into this thing because it's going to get a cleanse at some point. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. So now we're going to pump damage and, well, yeah, no. Yeah, we're going to put a little more, see if we can't get a kill when it takes a turn. Yeah. Not the best move because we didn't get to cycle as much, but, you know, we'll take it. We will take it. All right, we're going to leave the Amelia alone for now. We're going to use our cleanse as soon as we get it. And we're letting that additional damage do its work. There's our cleanse. And we're going to strip the buffs. And I'm assuming he'll cleanse them off. We'll see. Oh, wow, we got nothing. What's our accuracy? That is something to look into. All right, so options. We've got immunity, so we can attack pretty much whatever we want. I think we're going to keep pumping damage into the Rakan, just because that's one of our best Rakan killers, and we don't want that Rakan around very long, you know? We would like it to die. That is fine-ish. Fine-ish. We'll take our little heal there. Little baby heal. Yeah, we'll attack a human form, Amelia. And we'll attack Rakan here. Cycle, cycle, cycle. That Rakan is not proccing. I wonder if it's fully skilled or something, because that is not normal Rakan activity. Alright, Rakan is down. Let's move on. I wanted to look at the Juno Accuracy. It is 33, so not great. But, ooh, interesting. I think we're going to leave that Fen Yang alone, even though it doesn't help us with the cycling. I don't think we want it to take a million turns while it's got the Amelia helping it out. Ooh, this is an interesting choice, though, because I could strip the defense buff, which would help my Vigor live, but I think we'll work on the Amelia a little more. Because it's just sitting there, right? If we supercharge it by giving it turns, it's going to be defense buffed, supercharged, and I don't know. I don't know if I like that, so we'll leave it to last. We're going to hold off. No, we're going to strip that defense buff. I don't like that. Yeah, that was what we gave up, but I think that's okay. Yep, defense break in return. We're trying to set up 4v1 with 2 fire units, which is a pretty favorable spot to be in. I mean, Fen Yangs do a lot, but that's a tall order. Okay. So yeah, with the Juno, I think if you could have a combination of additional damage and accuracy skill 2, wouldn't be the end of the world. I'd be more than okay with that. And now we just hold off on our strip, on all our strips for that, right? That's what we're trying to get around. Nice. Can we strip off the heal? Nope. So we did get a little heal. Sad. All right, so we're just going to hold it off and just keep doing what we do. We will definitely take that defense break. Thank you. And then we're done. All right, so 1-on-1. That guy did have... I saw a conch wing, so... That's not too shabby. We usually do about 5 test matches. That is more or less how we want things to function. Okay. So we'll take our first 2. And the Yanhong and the Vigor are just so well runed that we got to do it. This might end up being a Tessa game. We'll have to see. Probably going to have to go with an earlier Juno. Oh, yeah, we're definitely taking Juno. We'll go ahead and do Juno and Vela here. He's doing the Molly thing that everybody does. Enjoy while it lasts. I don't know if you'll get it in a couple weeks. I feel like Molly might be tuned because it doesn't require much choice, and it's boring. Like, it takes forever. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. All right. So, options. What do we think here? I think Tessa's a pretty great choice because there's a lot of passive there. I feel like Tessa's kind of a force ban for him, which is great for us. And he has 1 stripper in the blue guy. So we could get rid of the stripper. I think that's the best choice for us because we're okay with Frank because we're probably getting our Juno through. So we're going to ban the stripper. We're going to deal with Monkey Town. Yep, that's the force ban. We'll take the crit. You know, the HP is not a horrible choice either. But I like crit for us because everybody benefits from crit. I mean, all 4 of these monsters bring it, and they would like to crit more. So let's let them. Luckily, we've got the defense break, which is one of the ways you can actually get a kill against a Molly. And we've got the Juno strip and cycle, which I think is going to be really, really nice. So there's no real need to boost here other than to cycle turns. I think we'll boost a little bit. Why not? We'll boost into the Juno. It's always a tricky thing to decide with the Yanhong. Like, do you boost? Do you not boost? But she does good things. We're gonna try to get the attack buff off of these evil monsters. And then I think we'll go ahead and take the anti-crit here. It's either that or the defense break, but she's gonna cleanse something. I see no reason not to take immunity because he has nothing he can do about it. His only strip is Molly skill 1. Go anti-crit. We'll give you a little glance. And we're trying to not touch the red monkey if we can help it. Or, yeah, the red monkey. But, you know, sometimes what are you going to do? So we're going to put him into a bit of a spot. We're going to make him choose. I think he's going to bring the Fran back, but we're going to go and put this on the red monkey. Had it landed, that would have made him choose who to cleanse versus putting all our eggs into one basket and then he gets everything for free. Didn't work, but I think that was the right play. Yeah, we'll just cycle along, give glance to who can. Unfortunately, the red monkeys, I think, at 4 stacks now, which is, you know, stacks are bad, but what are you going to do? Fran's already done her thing. Come on, heal block. We need you here. These monkeys cycle out of it so fast, though, that it's not great. Oh, baby, here it comes. Here comes the pain. Yup. That's how they do that. Great damage from those monkeys, though, isn't it? Those monkeys are amazing. What's our Yanhong's effective HP at? So 170k. That's plenty. It's just got monkeyed, you know? Could have gone with maybe a little more control into this, maybe an Oki, something like that. But the Fire Monkey's an issue. So he's just chilling with double cleanse, double defense break, massive turn cycling. But, you know, we're not necessarily out of it, but we need a cycle of turns like he got, where he got the defense break monkey, you know? Also feeling a little bit out-runed here with how hard he's hitting our Vigor. The Vigor being at... I mean, the Vigor's at 220 effective HP, which is a ton. Let's pivot onto the Fran, see if we can't get some work done there. The other option would be the Fire Monkey, but we're fighting the Molly, right? We're fighting against, you know, tons of heals into tanky monsters. It's a problem, just a problem. And I don't feel like our defense breaks have been impactful at all. So yeah, so we're done, I would say. We'll play it a little more. But yeah, we're basically done. He's got too many options on how to shut us down. So we're holding our strip until Fran does her thing. That's the only thing it's for. Other than that, we just cycle. And that's why the crit rate Juno is so fantastic, is that skill 1 is her best skill. You know? Oh man, look at that hit. Yeah, so we're let's do this and then we'll peace out. There we go. All right, now we're done. Now we're done. All right. So what, we're 1 and 2. That one was going to be a loss regardless, I feel, based on how hard those things were hitting. We felt our 20% less damage taken and it felt bad. All right, match number 4. I kind of like Yanong first pick, honestly. It could go a lot of ways. It kind of signals turn 2, but you could go a lot of different ways with Yanong first pick. Vigor first pick isn't awful either, but I think Vigor first pick signals turn 2 a little heavier. All right, here we go. Now we're getting cleaved. Come on now. Keep it coming. What is that? That's a stripper, right? Yeah. Interesting. So he's doing, maybe, it could be control. All right, so I still think Vigor is the way to go here. We're probably going to have to move into the Verd at some point. The Juno's not another bad pick. I also don't think the Leo's horrible, but I don't quite want to go into it just yet. I think I do feel comfortable going into Triana. This Triana is not ready to roll, though, like looking at the runes that need to be buffed up. Let's pick Oki. We'll pick one of our faster units, see if it is fast enough for what it needs to do. Yeah, that Triana, we need to double check on that because that's messed up. Yeah, that rune. Something's up with those runes. We'll have to go in there and fix it before we're done because that's not pickable currently. Nice little variety here. We've got the speed, we've got the heals, double heals. We'll just have to see if he's going control. He's probably going control. Oh, okay. He's doing a little bit of everything. So currently this is the main problem. We're not going to worry about his immunity, but I think we will take that because we get to take away all his goodies. We've got double heal. I kind of like the Verd here, but I also kind of like the Barbara here as well. So it's kind of a tricky thing to decide. Getting a Wusa isn't horrible either, just to threaten some immunity. So let's go ahead and do that. I like that a little bit better, because he could bring in something like a Rika, which would mess up our whole day. And oh, that's fine. We really want to be able to ban this Savannah. Yeah, so he's in a weird spot. He's double Stripper, Savannah, which is clearly his win condition, and then immunity damagey stuff. I don't know. Like, this is kind of an awkward draft for him. I would hope that we'd have a pretty good shot here, but, you know, who knows. I think we take accuracy, don't we? What's he going to take? He's taking speed. Resist isn't horrible, but he doesn't do a ton of things that need to be resisted. Though maybe resist is a little bit better against the Bastet, because they're not usually tons of accuracy. And if we can resist all those defense breaks, that would be nice. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, his draft to me felt a little bit less sensical. That's pretty fast. Oh, but it's got speed lead. So it could be in the 280 range and still outspeed us with speed lead. So it's not as fast as I was worried it would be. That's okay. We got to do that. Immunity up, right? Surely, yeah. I guess he's held off on one of his strips. I'm not sure. That is interesting. Let's see here. So we're not going to get a... I think our best control would be on the Bastet. So let's see if we can't do it. Nope. 1 in 3 chance. I mean, the odds are not good. I feel pretty comfortable boosting up the Wusa into the immunity. Give us 1 turn of reprieve from the Bastet, and then also puts him in a spot where he has to, in theory, you know, meet the accuracy check of his double strippers. Ooh, I really don't want to do this now because he'll strip it all. What do I think? Do I need to? Yeah, I'm going to. Because I think the blue guy, it's 3 different single removals, I think. So, yeah, so the odds of him taking it all are not high. If I'm correct in that, I'd have to double check. I'm not super happy with how hard this Velajool is hitting. Where's the Okeanos? Yeah, the Okeanos is pretty low on effective HP, so this is going to be a bit of a problem. He is not meant to hang out for forever. I think we'll go into it like that. And then we still can't do anything because we're hanging out with that Velajool. But the Bastet, I would love to get rid of that Bastet, but it's going to be a bit of a tall order. Man, took the full pain on both of them with the resist lead. Sadness. Yup, that's how that goes. Nope, looking for a sleep there, didn't get it. So the weak part here was the Okeanos with the effective HP pretty low. Everybody else is fairly a tank. We'll see if we can bring it home here, but we're going to need to kind of create a window and then capitalize really, really quickly. See, we're not taking as much damage otherwise, but yeah, when he gets his little buff off like that and the Yanhong doesn't strip, we're in for a bit of trouble. Okay. All right, we have like one more shot with the Yanhong, but it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, look at that. We're done. Yep, good job, him. Okay, we'll play it out a little bit further because I want to kind of see what we can get done here. We're still working on this Bastet. A little boost there. Yeah, but we're not going to get through. All right, so that's a loss. That's just how that goes. Moving on. Final match. Match number 5. Okay, let's first pick our Yanhong here. Lucia, not a bad pick. Just need a lot of immunity to deal with it. Gross, also gross. Okay, so we're gonna go like this. Also gross. Maybe it's just me, but when people pick a Lucia, this one here, I almost immediately think that they kind of know what they're doing. Like, that's a unit that, if you have it built, you probably have some idea, you know kind of what you're doing. I don't know. I feel like that's a real RTA type unit there. So we could bring the Leo here against the Savannah, right? But we're probably going to need to ban that Savannah because it's a problem. I feel pretty comfortable bringing that control, and I think we're going to bring that as well. Yep, that's the plan. Because he's got double passives. I don't think this is a passive. No, but this thing's a passive. Vanessa's a passive. I mean, he's banning. I would say he's banning this. That's what I would say. We're banning the Savannah because Savannah. Well, no, we're heavy into fire though. We could get away with not banning the Savannah. The problem with not banning the Savannah though is that she can just wreck through everything. But if we ban the Molly, we might have a fighting chance. Let's see if we have no Tessa. Let's do it like this. It greatly concerns me that we're just going to get torn apart by the Savannah. No, we can't do it. We can't do it. Just can't. Just can't. We will take HP health. And we got the Tessa, so we might get some windows. But they're gonna be tight little windows. Tight little windows. And I think he rightly banned the Yanhong there. So we've got 2 forms of defense break, so we need to make them count. We've got a heal block. We've got Oblivion. Alpha striking Ooh, okay, so I think we take the reset on the blue girl. Do we? No, we'll do it on Vanessa, because he has no strip. So there's nothing he can do to our units, really, because we're going to Velajool him back. We're fine. So we do it on the Vanessa. We go to try to kill something, and get to work. I kind of want to take the crit resist, which puts us without a heal for a good little bit. But I think that's okay, because we're going to control them with Oki here. And let's go right after the Queen Bee herself. Let's see if we can't get some. Oh, man, we missed it. That is unfortunate. But not unexpected. Like, that's how it goes, you know? Like, you get these little windows against Molly. The cleanse, so good. So you don't have a ton of chances. We'll go ahead and push back into her with our second defense break, which we missed. I mean, Molly's 2-0 against us, and she hasn't even done anything. You know what I mean? We're going to move to something that we can do a little bit more damage onto. See if we can at least put a stop to her healing. Yeah. Alright, so I think we want to cool down Blue Girl now. Miss it. Having pretty bad luck. Glad we kept that. And we're hoping to burst down this Molly, but it's not a guarantee, you know? We need to not get double, ooh, yeah. I think I feel comfortable putting this on... What's-her-face there? Let's see if we can't sneak a kill out. Come on. Somebody take a turn. Not you, Molly. Not you, Molly. Yep. Of course it's Molly. So yeah, so that was another window closed, sadly. So now we're back onto the Molly. Maybe we sneak a kill here. Just gonna need the Tessa to do it. Hanging in there. Oh, is it crit damage, Molly? Molly with a proc is tricky, tricky business. All right, we got a proc back, so in theory we can get a kill. If that Vanessa hasn't proc too many times. Yay, it didn't. That is a great play by him. Okay, so now we're going to go into the Miho, and if we get the Miho, we win. It's just, will our window's in a lot better shot because he's got the blue, only the blue person to cleanse, which I assume it was up. I don't know why he didn't. That would have been a better play by him. All right, she's already out of the Oblivion, which is sad. Oh my gosh, we didn't land it. So yeah, so no chance. No chance. We had too many of our opportunities fail or close immediately. That's how that goes. Probably, I would say, slightly outruined there as well, but it's Special League's brutal. Special League is rough. We went 1-4. We could have gone 2-3, had that last match finished, but I don't think 2-3 is... I don't think we could have done much better than 2-3. So, down a little bit, but we got to see the team in action. The Tessa is, I think it'd be fairly useful. So we'll get some artifacts on him. I think the Tessa's going to end up being used quite a bit because we're going to face a lot of those teams that are heavy on passives and stuff like that. So, that is the team examine. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it works out well for you. Give it a whirl when Special League is over as well. Give it a fair shot. I think you'll see it a little more successful out of Special League. Special League is just can be quite rough. And the other thing I would recommend is the Oki has an attack rune on slot 4. I would replace it with a fast sustain rune as soon as you can find one. That's not it. This is the wrong area. Because he's feeling a little squish, and we're ending up playing longer matches, so I think that rune could be replaced with something that is more sustained. Also, you know, obviously, when this is maxed out, that's going to be better. All right, that is it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.